This episode of JTech Apple is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got my first impressions of the Google Nexus 5. So yes, I finally did get my hands on it, and I know that it has been out for quite a few months now, but I might as well still give you my first impressions. So I have had this phone for a week, and there's definitely a lot to like about it right off the bat, and I can definitely understand why many people out there prefer the stock Android experience. So first off, let's start with the hardware. The phone has a 4.95-inch 1920 by 1080 resolution display with a PPI of over 400. Definitely a very good looking display. And although I did not own a Nexus 4, I took a look at a friend's who had a Nexus 4, and it kind of felt like the display was always at 50% brightness, even though it was at full brightness. So I definitely think they fixed the phone on that part, and the display on the Nexus 5 is very, very beautiful. On the back, you have a very nice smooth touch finish. It is available in 3 different colors, whether it is white, standard black, and also very recently the red edition, which looks a lot more like orange just because it is so vibrant. You've also got an 8 megapixel camera here, a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera on the front. The phone also features some top-end specs with a Snapdragon 800 processor. That is a very powerful processor. As you know, all the big flagship phones out there do have that. And considering this is a phone that comes in at just about $350 unlocked, for the 16 gigabyte version, it is also available in the 32 gigabyte version. It definitely proves to be one of the best values in terms of phones out there. You definitely can't argue with that, as it does have much of the top end specs, top end hardware. As you know, they have teamed up with LG once again, which is a great hardware manufacturer. And you can see the phone comes in at a very nice thin form factor. The phone itself is very beautiful, and I personally really like the Stormtrooper edition, what MKBHD likes to call it. And the phone itself is very light. It doesn't feel cheap at all. I feel that it is very well built. And one thing about the white edition is that the side does have a different type of material, more of a glossy. It kind of feels like a rubber material, but it definitely is very durable, and the phone itself feels extremely seamless in the hand. Another thing to note is that it does also have Gorilla 3, Corning Gorilla Glass 3 glass on the front, and this isn't something I usually mention, but I noticed particularly with the Nexus 5, it is very good at repelling fingerprints. I tried to just smudge my hand all over it, and it just seems to really hide them, and the phone itself just always tends to look very, very clean. When it comes to the camera on this phone, it is an 8 megapixel camera, and of course there were some initial complaints about it not being very good at all, but an update came out and it just seems to enhance the photos much more, and the way that the camera in terms of its processing and software side is able to process the images, and it definitely did prove to be a very good improvement to the camera. So I guess the camera is pretty mediocre. It isn't like the best camera out in the market, but it definitely isn't bad at all. So another thing about this is the battery life. There were also a lot of complaints about that when this phone first came out, and now from using it, I didn't really find any issues with the battery whatsoever. I found that it did last very long, and another thing I kind of noticed with the Nexus 5 is that the standby battery life is very, very good. So if I left it around for a few days, as you know, I do have quite a few phones, so I do like to cycle them around. I go back to it a few days later, and the battery is just where it left off. So that is very good, as I noticed a few other Android phones I have a pretty bad standby battery life, and when I go back to it a few days later, I will have to recharge it once again. So now let's move on to perhaps the most important part of the phone, which is the software. And this phone runs Android 4.4 KitKat, which, as you know, with the Nexus phone, you will always be getting the latest updates, and it has no bloatware, no skins or anything. It is the pure Android experience and what Google intends you to experience Android in their view. So it does run Android 4.4 KitKat right now, and I definitely have to say I'm having a very good experience with it. It is very fast, responsive, snappy, clean, all those words you would describe a stock Android experience. Everything just seems to flow very nicely. The visual and everything looks very good. The icons are a little bit large for my liking, especially because I kind of want to have more apps on each page. But you can look at the quick toggle settings and everything, and the phone itself is just so responsive. It doesn't jitter or anything, and it also likes to take advantage of a lot of Google services. As you know, Google Now implementation and also the Google Hangouts and SMS being integrated. You can also use other things like Google Drive, Keep, all that kind of stuff. And Google is just such a big company that you're always able to take advantage of their software being integrated together one way or another. Before we head out, let's take one last look at our sponsor. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. They're constantly trying to improve their platform with new features, new designs, and even better support. They already have very beautiful designs for you to start with and all the style options you need to create a unique website for you or your business. And they also have an amazing support team that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the event you need help. Every design also includes a unique mobile experience that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device every time. The plans start at just $8 a month, and it even includes a free domain name if you sign up for a year. For JTech Apple viewers, head over to the link to start your free trial now, no credit card required, and if you would like a discount on your first purchase, please use the coupon code in the description. But aside from that, that is my first impressions video, and a full review will hopefully be coming out very soon, and I'll see you all in the next video.